Namaskar. Welcome to another episode of Editorial. 213 people lost their lives in Maharashtra deluge. Around 53,295 people have been rendered homeless. Maharashtra deluge is really taking its toll on the state and the people. My topic number one would be Maharashtra deluge. My topic number two is, and this is the topic I will start with, is you see, the Pegasus controversy and some reports about the Pegasus controversy says that one of the people who were snooped on with Pegasus software was the victim who complained against the former Chief Justice of India, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi. That victim was snooped on. Her husband was snooped on, her family was snooped on. Now the question is, was the Chief Justice of India, who is the head of the judiciary of India, was the Chief Justice of India aware that such a spyware was being used illegally on that victim? That's the question I asked tonight. In fact, a lot of these details come from a very interesting article written by Manu Sebastian, the managing editor of Live Law. A lot of the things that I'm going to talk about, I have referred to this article. So that's my show today. Let's get right into the show. So, like I said, there was a judge. This judge was a Supreme Court judge. Before he became the Chief Justice of India, he was part of the team that went out and said that the democracy was in danger. He was part of the team that went out and said that politically sensitive cases are not being distributed fairly. He was part of the team that went out and said that possibly the Supreme Court is not functioning the way it should. Just after that, he was made the Chief Justice of India. He became the Chief Justice of India, and the entire country thought that, "ठीक है भाई, ये इतना बोला, he said so much that Supreme Court not right and all. Now he'll come and change everything. Everything will be done. Everything will be made right." Acha. Now what happened was, as he took over, there was a sexual harassment case against the man. There was a junior clerk who went and said that, "Baba, listen, you know what? This man is sexually harassing me." Acha. Now the entire thing went on its head is when the Chief Justice of India, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi, himself sat to hear his case. He himself appointed an in-house committee to judge his case, and the in-house committee, which was headed by Justice Bobde, who later on became the Chief Justice of India, Justice Bobde said that there is no useful purpose to be served by continuing these proceedings. There is no useful purpose. Kuch nahi hai iska, there is no veracity. There is no truth to whatever she is saying. It's all humbug, and threw the case out and gave a clean chit to the then Chief Justice of India, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi. ठीक है. That is when people started wondering, अरे ये क्या हुआ? He was the man who sat in that garden and said that, everything is wrong. Supreme Court should be better, all, very clean and all that. This is the same man. After that, one after another cases that he dealt, judgments that he passed were controversy ridden, least to say. And I'm not going to repeat all that. I've done that 5 times. So you can watch any of my editorials on it. I've actually spoken a lot about Justice Ranjan Gogoi. So, ठीक है. So be it. So lots of cases where it was controversial, it was ridden with controversy and a lot of question marks on his judgment. It was seen as if he's completely siding with the government. I had interviewed Mr. Prashant Bhushan in my channel, in one of the editorials, and he said one of the worst possible judges in this country, that was his opinion, one of the worst possible Chief Justice in this country was Mr. Ranjan Gogoi. That is what he said. ठीक है, चलो, let's go further. Now the worst thing that happened is the victim who had complained against this Chief Justice. the victim who had complained against this Chief Justice, this victim, according to reports, was snooped on with using Pegasus software. She was snooped on, her husband was snooped on, her family was snooped on. Now, this is where the big question arises. Was Justice Gogoi aware that such a snooping, illegal snooping, was happening in India and happening on his victim? If he was not aware, then why was she snooped? To protect whom was she snooped? She was no big politician or film star or business person or whatever. Why was she snooped? She was a junior clerk, for crying out loud. The only thing she has done is she complained against the Chief Justice of India, correct? So the fact remains that if she was snooped, and going by the track record of Justice Ranjan Gogoi, one can't help but think that possibly Mr. Ranjan Gogoi was aware of the fact that she was snooped on. Possibly, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi is using this word possibly 10 times. Possibly, Mr. Ranjan Gogoi wanted her to be snooped on. Chief Justice of India, the custodian of the judiciary of India, was participating in a illegal activity of snooping a citizen. My God, where are we heading to? This is the question I'm asking tonight. And my humble submission to the Supreme Court and Chief Justice N.V. Ramanan is, sir, can we revisit this case? Can we reopen this case? Can we investigate this case suo motu? Can that happen? Because if this has happened, then the judiciary was part of this entire mess of Pegasus. And if the judiciary was part of it, then, sir, a lot of people needs to give a lot of answers. That's the point I wanted to make. That's my topic number 1. Let's get into our topic number 2. Maharashtra is going through severe deluge. 213 people died as of Wednesday. 53,295 people are rendered homeless. And there are 349 relief camps in the state. These relief camps are run by the State Disaster Management Authority, SDMA. 8 people are still reported missing in Maharashtra, and 52 people are undergoing treatment in various hospitals in Mumbai and other districts. As many as 4,35,879 people have been evacuated and relocated to safer areas after their homes were badly damaged or totally washed away in the floods, which reached up to a height of 20 feet, with 1,351 villages directly affected by the rain's fury. The largest evacuation took place in western Maharashtra. Districts of Sangli, where almost 2,11,808 people were evacuated. Kolhapur, where almost 1,62,554 people were evacuated. Satara, 49,149 people were evacuated. Pune, 402 people were evacuated. Konkan district and Thane, 6,930 evacuations. And Sindhudurg, 1,271 people were evacuated. In fact, Ratnagiri, 1,200 and Raigad, 2,555 people were evacuated. This is according to the SDMA information. There is a total of 16 NDRF team out there right now. It was 33 before. It's come down to 16. There are 131 boats which are rescuing people and 3 Indian Army teams that are also there on ground rescuing people. This is the status. And the scene is pretty grim. A lot of people are suffering. Houses have been lost, and it's said that there are crocodiles on the road in certain parts, especially in Kolhapur and others. Crocodiles on the road because it's been washed out. Now, let us understand what exactly happened here. Was all of this act of God? Or was there human interference? And you know what? It was not all act of God, and I'll try and explain this to you. Konkan has a lot of rivers. Jagbudi, Vashishti. In fact, Vashishti is a river, Jagbudi is the tributary, and Kodavali. Three rivers. It started overflowing. It started flooding. Why? Because there were heavy rains and the Koyna dam discharged water. So this river started flooding. Now this river started overflowing into Ratnagiri, Khed and Chiplun, the coastal region of Konkan. It started overflowing. Now they say that this river, at the water level went up from 10 feet to 12 feet and in certain places up to 20 feet. 20 feet was underwater. Huge loss of life, loss of property, agricultural property, animals, tremendous loss. Now this started spreading, this flood started spreading to Western Maharashtra and Konkan. Now, answering my question, was it act of God alone? Has human something to do with it? The answer is in a very interesting article in print. You see, according to a 2016 research report by the South Asian Network on Dams, Rivers and People, an informal network of organizations working on river-related issues, the natural character of the Vashishti and therefore of the Jagbudi has been vastly altered by the Koyna hydroelectric project and the Lote Parshuram industrial area of the Maharashtra Industrial Development Corporation, which is MIDC. So there has the river has been altered because of hydroelectricity project, altered because of industry. In fact, one more thing in the same article, they also have one more point that they have mentioned is over the last few years, there has been rampant tree cutting in the Sahyadris. Both Vashishti and Jagbudi, along with other rivers in Konkan, have suffered erosion from both sides. There is haphazard infrastructure development along with water bodies. Growth of industry in the area has also polluted the river. So a lot of this is man-made. My question is, a similar flood happened in 2019. Something similar happened in 2019 in Western Maharashtra. Now it is happening again in 2021. Why have Maharashtra government, be it Bharatiya Janata Party government then and be it Maha Vikas Aghadi now, why were they not prepared? We know that normally when you have heavy rains, you have problems in Maharashtra, especially in Western Maharashtra and Konkan. We know that. So why were there no rescue teams there? Why were people not evacuated before the disaster struck? These are not things that just happened, no. It is something that we were all aware of. Somewhere down the line, Maha Vikas Aghadi will have to answer for the 213 deaths that happened because of this flood. I only hope that things get normal soon. There is enough aid for these people. There is enough rescue team workers to help these people. I only hope it happens and it happens fast. I end my editorial with prayers for people who are suffering in Maharashtra flood. Till I see you next time. Namaskar.